Mahama Ayariga our the majority leader ewo parliament watutu bi the amane Afenyo Markin any MPP caucus on more parliament. Yenye say after the vetting and approval of Sam George and Samuel Okudzeto Ablakwa no MPP propaganda machine edenam say a year one Okudzeto Ablakwa ehan dan ewo East Legon Hills abosomi bia wotua $15,000. Meanwhile, so more patches who could to Ablakwa the monthly salary our parliament 15,000 Ghana cedis. 2. Almost I say Sam George name him the trending picture and nam social media says Sam George at the parliament and shoponu which I no correct. A TV3 for the cha Sam George picture and the MPP for a picture no ma edit it. Man I say Sam George at the parliament and shoponu na GTV for an interview or say on tenase Emma Afenyo Markin any MPP caucus in Tron to the members so mumi enti ense mo di tuja GTV.
Surprised by the stance of the minority with regards to two of your ministers designate for communication and foreign affairs.
Oh no, I'm not surprised. They were acting under some pressure, and unfortunately, they were not tactful not to betray where the pressure was coming from. If you listen carefully, you will notice that their main issue with both, Ablakwa and Sam George had nothing to do with the ministries that they were going to, or the work that they would do at the ministries, or their appreciation of the policy issues at those ministries. Their main issue with Sam George was some indication that he had said some unsavory things about the former President Akufo-Addo. In the case of Ablakwa, it wasn't about foreign policy and what ideas he had to implement there and how foreign policy will be enhanced to the economic development or accelerated development of the country and how it will increase the loaf of bread and reduce the price of kenke. It was basically about he being asked to chair the oral committee and the work that he's doing to follow up on complaints that he has received as chairman of the oral committee. So I wasn't surprised because these are two young people that have been in the forefront of the political fight by the NDC to return to power. And they've put in so much effort to expose the NPP administration under President Akufo-Addo as one that deserved to be kicked out and to give NDC an opportunity. And then, usually you find out that those people become political targets of the opposing side. And anytime such a person appears before a committee, the person will be subjected to a lot of grueling treatment. I've been through that a couple of times. People have forgotten. I mean, I was the spokesperson of Atamils leading to his election as a presidential candidate of the NDC, and I continued as a spokesperson, and we did everything. In spite of all the predictions that President Atamils could not win election, this and that, we did whatever it took, and he won. When it came to my vetting as a mere deputy minister, I can assure you it took me about 3 months before the appointments committee. People have forgotten. So I'm used to it. I understand the politics that if you really were a thorn in the flesh of the ruling party and you participate in fighting so hard and wrestling power from their hands, when you appear before the appointments committee, they will do everything to deal with you. And that's exactly what they were doing. But the good thing is that those two gentlemen were not perturbed because they know that we have the numbers to approve them no matter what they did. And everybody agrees that they are good material and nobody doubts their competence and capacity to deliver on the task that His Excellency is giving them. I mean, I heard my senior brother, was the uncle on television talking about his income and his residence and the cost and etc. Our position was that These are really not matters for Parliament. If you think somebody is living above his income, there's YOCO, there's the Office of Special Prosecutor, there's the IGP's office. Go and report. If you think somebody is not paying his taxes, there's GRA. As for us, we simply ask them, can you give us tax clearance? If the person brings tax clearance, the tax clearance is the communication officially coming from the GRA Director General that the person has either paid his taxes or made arrangements to pay his taxes. So once we get that, we asked for a report from the police, a security report. Every nominee that came before us, we requested for a security report. And the security report said, all clear. The person has no crime that he has committed. We're not investigating for any crime. He's not being prosecuted for anything. So there's no criminal charge against the person. So if you have something that is unrelated to the qualification of the person under the Constitution, we will listen to you. But we're not the appropriate quarters to be probing into how did you manage to pay your rent when your income is X. Person has a wife. The wife is a lawyer. You don't know her income. You don't know her inheritance. And so you can't sit and just ask a simplistic question that, oh, you are living in Airport Hills and your income is X. How come you're living in Airport Hills? There's a little more probing that needs to be done. And people have a right to privacy. And like I said, it's not the job of the appointments committee to ask how you are paying your rent. If you think that somebody is paying his rent through criminal means, I beg you, the Office of Special Prosecutor is there. The YOCO office is there. Ablakwa, when he felt strongly about somebody, he went all out. He went to Shraj, he went to court, he went to YOCO, he went everywhere. You know Ablakwa, if he really felt strongly and convinced about you having committed an offense, he went to every extent to prove his case.
So you won't be surprised if now that he's minister, somebody may come up and say, look, we are taking you to YOCO or Shraj or OSP because some things don't add up. You won't be surprised.
That's the beauty of our democracy. That's the beauty of the framework of governance that we have set for ourselves. Is that okay? I have no inhibitions. I don't care. It's not my concern. I get in the situation. Each and every one of us is accountable for their actions. And this government intends to go by that principle, that everyone is accountable for his actions. If anybody feels strongly about how he pays his rent and thinks that there's an institution that deals with that and goes there, we have no problem. But Parliament and the vetting committee is not a platform to be questioning how people are paying their rents. It's not. Especially when you haven't made a case. All you are saying is that, I know you to be living in this area, and how come that you are living in that area? I know the rents at Airport Hills. Honestly, I don't know the rents at Airport Hills. I've never checked. And if somebody gives me his address and says, I live at Airport Hills, I'm not supposed to be finding out, why do you live at Airport Hills? I agree with him that our institutions must function better. And I am one of those who will advocate for that and push for that. Because if we say we are really going to fight corruption, and then somebody is riding the most expensive vehicles, living in the most expensive properties, and the tax authorities are not interested in how that person is living in those facilities and utilizing those facilities and flying first class all the time. In some jurisdictions, the tax authorities will be interested. That's the starting point when it comes to fighting corruption. That, how did you get this? How did you get that? Where is it coming from? Okay.
Weren't those the questions that the minority were asking in Parliament?
But they were asking at the wrong platform. Do you understand my point? That's the wrong platform. Go to some other platform where they have jurisdiction to probe those matters. And the matter hasn't ended. The man is now going to be sworn in as a Minister of State. So if you really have issues with that, go and ask. Go and ask.
How many more people?
I have been sent to Shraj before. I have been investigated. I have been sent to Office of Special Prosecutor before. I have been investigated. I have been prosecuted. I have been vindicated.
What was that experience like? What was it like?
Oh, well, I mean, once you know that you haven't really committed an offense, you just go through it, and you know that you'll be, vindicated in the end. So I really didn't. It just wasted my time. That was it. And I think that every public officer should be prepared. Once you decide to serve the public, you must abide by the values and principles of public accountability. So when you are being held publicly accountable for your conduct, for your lifestyle, for everything, take it in good faith.
How many more ministers designate have to be vetted? How many have you done so far?
I think 18 more are outstanding, because the president promised 60, and then he's nominated, and we have vetted and approved 42.
In what ways can, so I'm just rephrase this. So the minority leader says that your side is deliberately frustrating the vetting process.
How's that? I don't know how we are deliberately frustrating the vetting process. Vetting is being done the way that every vetting has been done in this country. The difference, of course, is that our party promised to set up government within a very short period of time. And the good thing is that the party has the numbers in parliament to push to meet its timelines. And all we've done is to exert pressure on him to work with us to meet our timelines. But he's had every opportunity to ask every question under the sun, to understand where everybody is beginning to get frustrated by his line of questioning, how much time he spends questioning people.
Are there no limits?
But the practice has always been to allow the minority leader to ask as many questions as he can ask. The reason is that you limit the number of questions that the individual MPs can ask. So, for instance, if I'm just an ordinary member of the committee, I can ask only 3 questions. Now, what the minority leader is supposed to be doing is that when you notice that your member who is limited to just 3 questions, his questions and the answers that emanated from the questioning also provided some clues to some further matters that ought to be probed into. But because that person has only 3 questioning opportunities, he cannot go further.
Then he gives it to the minority leader?
No, so you note it.
Okay.
Is that okay? You note it for almost everybody. Then, when it is your turn,
then
you can now follow up on every outstanding matter that a member on your side tried to probe into, but because of the limitations of time, that person couldn't delve that much deeper into it.
Is that not what Mr. Afenyo Markin was doing?
But that is, when you are doing the people will see, okay? When you are doing that, people will see. And if you are doing it well, people will see. But to tell you the truth, and I have told him in person this, it's not as if I'm sitting on this platform and I'm trying to reduce him in stature or anything of that sort. Majority of the cases, I don't think he was really seriously pinning down anybody to something that was outstanding.
Give an example.
There are so many. If you just watch
the Ablakwa and the Sam George vetting, people had a lot of issues with that. They think he spent a lot of time.
A lot of time. But then, a lot of it wasn't on policy issues. A lot of it wasn't on telecommunication sector issues. A lot of it was he just forcing to extract an apology from Sam George, an apology to President Nana Akufo-Addo. That was all he was struggling to do, just to extract an apology. When it came to Ablakwa, all the things about rent and this and that had nothing to do with foreign policy.
Yeah, but don't you agree
let me land.
Just policy. Let me land. Let me land. Side.
Let me land. If it was just the ethical issues and the personality issues, no. It was vengeance because he is the chairman of ORA and he is purported to be pursuing MPP kingpins and ministers and leaders for allegedly purchasing public lands at ridiculous prices, grabbing some of them without paying the proper compensation to the state. if you listen to the entire vetting of these two.
But you do agree that the oral chairman has to be above board. He is the one who is chasing people. He should be clean. Maybe that was his point.
And I'm saying that you have platforms to go and vindicate that. If you have anything, you have platforms to go and vindicate that. And I'm saying that to the extent that you haven't brought anything. You see, in law, you see, you should know the rule against self-incrimination. Do you understand? You cannot come to a platform and be trying very much to extract information from me, hoping that you will use it to incriminate me. It's not known in law, and he's a lawyer. He knows that. You get the situation.
No, I get what you're saying. So for instance, your people were over answering. So when they over answer, the man picks stuff and then goes instead of just
that. I think also was a fault on some of my guys, because even I was sometimes trying to urge them, because I have a way that I'll go to a vetting committee and then in 10 minutes I'm done, because it's yes, no,
that's
no,
it.
yes.
You didn't coach them with all your experience?
Well, they've been before the appointments committee before. We've done previous training, except one or two of them that are new. Like Ablakwa was deputy minister, and the previous time when we were doing that, we had trained them, and some of them we had coached them. We had indicated to them that be short, there should be brevity in your responses, and etc. Some get carried away by the cameras, and then
you want to say something for the headlines.
It becomes a show, you know. They want to show that they know, and etc. And we're happy to also let the public know that we are very erudite, we are very competent, we are very knowledgeable nominees, and so they can have confidence that public affairs will be managed most effectively and efficiently. Except that the risk also is that the more you talk, the more you give opportunities for questioning.
And I thought that was Mr. Afenyo Markin's strategy. He was just letting them talk and then he picks on them.
Exactly, but which is also not really the best, because you must come with your own background investigation on people, and then you must be pinning them to what you have found out, not hoping that they will slip and you will get them.